Are you a business owner or employee who needs to network but is terrified of walking into a room full of people you don't know? Are you afraid of being left out of conversations or being awkward in the conversations you do have? Your tour guide, Faithann, is here to walk alongside you through the networking terrain, offering tips and tricks to network with ease. She'll also bring insightful interviews with successful business owners who have used networking to expand their businesses. Building relationships is the heart of networking, and generosity is the cruise ship that will navigate you toward those important relationships for your business or career. Grab your sunscreen and suitcase. Faith Ann is ready. Are you?
Hello there, and welcome to the Networkers Tour Guide podcast. I'm glad you found the show. Networking is providing opportunities for others that they would not have except for you, so that you have standing to ask for opportunities from people when you need them. How do we create opportunities for others, and how do we ask for those same opportunities? Well, that's what this podcast is all about. It's what I'm here for. Let's dive into episode 49. Welcome to this episode of the Networkers Tour Guide podcast. I'm your host, Faithann, and this is the podcast for networking tips and tricks. If this is your first time to come to this podcast, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back week after week to hear all things networking from me and my wonderful guests. Speaking of wonderful guests, I have a wonderful guest for us this morning. I have Jacob Rowe with Rowe Chiropractic. Jacob, thank you for saying yes to being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Faith Ann.
Jacob is in my BNI chapter with me, and he has a local chiropractic office, a practice in Norman. He's held the chiropractic seat for, what has it been, 2 years, 3 years in our chapter?
Yep, I think we're going on our third year now.
So we are very benefited from having a chiropractor that we like and trust to refer to our friends and family. And it's fun. There's been times when right after our meeting, you open up on Wednesdays, and then we'll go, and there'll be like a whole gaggle of BNI people in the waiting room waiting to get
Yes.
adjusted. So it's always fun. Jacob, tell us a little bit about how you got started in chiropractic and the kind of people that you serve in Norman.
So I come from a big old family of chiropractors. Had been adjusted my whole life, and honestly, I really didn't see a whole lot of value in it. I never had back pain growing up, never really had issues. And then once I moved off to college, what happened was I ended up not having any time to go back home to get adjusted, go see my dad. So I was a music major, planning to do pre-med, go the MD route. So then what happened was I was sitting on a stool playing bass for hours a day. My back started hurting. I had no time to go there. I said, "Huh, maybe there is a little something worth it to chiropractic." So I switched up, kind of the schools I was looking at. Ended up going to chiropractic school, and then decided to just go ahead and open up my own office.
How long was that decision between, realizing that chiropractic really does help our bodies and deciding to go into business for yourself as a chiropractor? What was that time frame?
A junior year of college is kind of when I kind of decided to make that decision. And so once I decided to pursue that, I just had a couple more classes to take. Went off to chiropractic school for 3.5 years, and then after that, you're kind of let off into the wild to go and help as many people as possible.
How did your parents feel when you told them that you decided you wanted to follow in your dad's footsteps and become a chiropractor?
They were very excited. They always wanted to make sure that it was always my decision, that they didn't feel I was pressured into becoming a chiropractor. So they always wanted to make sure that I really wanted to do it. I wanted to help people. I just didn't just because they did it. My grandpa did it. My sister does it. Just because everyone else is doing it, you're not just jumping off the cliff because they are.
That's wise. Yeah, and it's funny because your father is very well known in the Oklahoma City metro, a very well known practice. And shortly after you joined our BNI chapter, I was talking to someone at my church, and I go to a very small church. Small. One of the other members like, "Oh, I know. I think I know his dad. I see him all the time." And so, Jacob, what has been the most surprising thing that you have learned being a chiropractor?
One of the most surprising things I've learned is that people really want you to help them. They come to you because you can help them with your own two hands. Um, there are chiropractors all around the block. I think there's about 10 within a 5-mile radius of my office. Just be people come to me because they trust me to help them feel better. I could offer as many fancy tools as I want, and any chiropractor can offer as many fancy tools as they want. But if I do not have the skills to help them with my own two hands, then they don't want to come see me. So I have people that like the way that I adjust and help them get better. So I really appreciate the people who come to see me and trust me to help them feel better.
And you have a wonderful just a manner from beginning to end of the client experience. It doesn't start when you're on the table. It really starts the second you walk in the door. That experience, the caring. I mean, I've noticed that, and many other people have told me the same thing about having you adjust them. So we're real thankful that you found our group. And so now I want to kind of tell the listeners you have your chiropractic certificate or your license. Is it a license?
Yeah, yep, license. Uh-huh.
So now tell me the process of looking for a networking group to join. What was that like?
So whenever I decided on Norman as the main area that I wanted to set up in. I live in Moore, which is just a little bit north of it. So what happened was I found my office space, found Norman, but I have no roots in Norman. Had absolutely none. I went to Oklahoma State College. I'm from Edmond, Oklahoma, so there was nothing connecting me at all. And actually, Brian, who is our insurance guy in the group, he knows my dad, and he said, "Hey, we don't have a chiropractor anymore. We're looking for a chiropractor." So I found BNI through that. And I figured that that would be a great opportunity to kind of dip my toes in the water as far as networking is concerned and meet some people.
Yeah. And so, do any of your other family members have they used networking to build their practices? Or are you the very first one?
I would say my dad has done tips groups before. I don't know if he's ever been part of a BNI group, but he's done tips groups. My brother, I believe, just joined a BNI chapter. My sister has also joined some other networking groups and has started some on her own as well. Whenever you're in the beginning stages of building a practice, you have to get people in the door because generally referrals are much better patients because they already trust you to get them feel better. You don't have to sell yourself to someone who has already been referred into the office. So in those beginning stages, you're trying to meet as many people as possible, get them in the door, and then get them comfortable enough that they feel comfortable sending in their friends and family to you. So BNI and other networking sources have been very beneficial in helping me kind of reach that threshold.
The power of a referral is underestimated. I think a lot of people underestimate how powerful a referral is versus another lead, coming in from another source.
Absolutely.
When we interact, you're kind of on the more quiet side and you're very friendly. Did you have any qualms about talking about your business in a room full of people that you didn't know very well?
I think over time I have gotten way more comfortable with it. I think particularly people that sell or have a service attached to them personally, because people who sell a product are not necessarily attached to that product. You may be able to sell a stool and say, "Hey, the stool's $200." But me coming into my chiropractic office and that I am attached to this chiropractic service, a big thing that I've learned kind of through BNI pitching every week at our meetings and things is that really to have a little bit more. Even we talked about this whenever you presented this last week is say it with your chest, being a little bit more confident in the way that you present things, because people can see that timidness about making sure to seem about selling yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, are you a real, and that's what I kind of focused on. Are we really problem solvers, or are we just fiddle farting around? And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
if you don't carry that into the room with you, that you do actually really solve problems, it affects the way you stand up and say, I am J Rowe with J Rowe, or I'm Jacob Rowe with J Rowe Chiropractic. And what's your, it's healing happens. What's the tagline?
Yeah. Healing happens here.
Yeah.
So I learned that, or there's a chiropractor we've known for years who kind of came up with that because she really wanted to emphasize that this was a calming place. This was a place that where you came to get better, and I just love that. So it's like myself and a couple other chiropractors have commandeered that.
Mm, that's great. Yeah. And I like it's just short and precise.
Hey, networkers! If you want your next one-to-one to go beyond swapping business cards, Faithann's got something for you. She created a free resource called 10 Questions to Ask in a One-to-One. It's packed with thoughtful questions that help you get to know someone and leave a lasting impression. Click on the 10 Questions link in the show notes and download this resource today.
So, what has surprised you the most about being in BNI, which I should say this stands for Business Network International? But what's been the most surprising thing about being a member of our chapter?
I would say how much I enjoy our chapter. I really think that I I can't speak for all BNI chapters, but I really enjoy our chapter because we have a lot of fun. Our everyone in our group is always having a great time. We all like each other. Um, However, with that air of friendliness and camaraderie, we still very much work to get things done. Referrals fly around our chapter like no other. The thank you for closed business number steadily climbs up, and I really think the personal connections that we have within our chapter make people want to stay, and they also really help along with the referral aspect because no one's going to refer to someone that they don't already trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's so nice to have, those people in our circle that when our friends and family are looking for solutions, or even that we can plant seeds. It's nice to have this group. And I like to talk about really always listening for opportunities that you can insert people, your referral partners, into conversations where a person may not initially think about using a service, but you're there to, like, hey, have you considered, or I think you should consider, or what would you think about considering? That's what I love to do. And I think that when we hear what you're asking for every week, it also helps us bring sunlight into the shadow of chiropractic, because chiropractic, the full sun, but to us, there's a lot of shadows because we don't know everything that you do. So you'll talk about pregnant women. So that's not back pain, that's pregnancy, but you talk about that, or children, or what are some of the other aspects of chiropractic that people don't think about?
Yeah, I would say some of the things that people typically think of chiropractic are like neck pain, headaches, low back pain, sciatica. However, a lot of the really, as long as there's a joint, chiropractic can help because we are all about the nerves kind of going through the body, making sure that flow is unimpeded. So, plantar fasciitis is a good one. Sports injuries and recovery as well. We also do a lot of I do see a lot of children, whether it be they're colicky, they're not breastfeeding properly, they're having problems with their latch, things like that. There's a lot of continuing education that I continue to do to kind of help expand my toolbox so I can help as many people as possible.
Yeah, and you have been talking a lot about the breastfeeding, and then you will tell stories of how you've helped people. I mean, you'll say a mom came in, the baby was fussy, and after so many adjustments, she was blown away by the results. And that's always a good thing to keep in mind, when no matter what kind of field you're in, when you are presenting, when you have some attention whether it's a minute or 10 minutes. It's a good thing to tell testimonials with real stories of real clients that you're really helping instead of just being very broad and not specific. It's a good way to help us refer you better or better refer you when we hear these stories in different situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, do you have any fun chiropractic stories about maybe a client that you didn't think you were going to be able to help, but you helped, or any kind of different client?
When I first started, it's like the term we all and a couple other chiropractors kind of use is like this person has got a hot back. So we're just they are in a lot of pain. It really affects their life. They can't work, they can't stand, they can hardly walk, they can't sleep because it's no matter what, the pain is there. Touching it causes a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort.
Hmm.
They're just so inflamed that it's just like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Probably the first time I ever got one of those. This guy came in, he had to travel. He had to travel a little bit of ways. And so he was already kind of inflamed a little bit even more from just that car ride. He was having to lay down in his truck. And I saw him a couple times a week for a couple weeks. Physical therapy was taking a while to get started because that requires referral. And then they had to get the referral all set up and pre-authorized. And then there was a problem with the insurance. So while this guy was not able to work and just getting the runaround from all of his physical therapy stuff, by the time he finally got started with physical therapy, he was pretty much about 80% better. He still had some lingering pain, but he was able to go back to work. He went from having to lay down on the floor of my office while he was waiting to sitting there driving himself. And I was like, it was an incredible transformation. I'm glad I was able to help him out with. And I was like, and really appreciate him for trusting me to help him get better.
Yes, that is quite a transformation. So, laying on the floor of your office while he's waiting for you to adjust him.
Because sitting in a seat was just so uncomfortable that was about
Mm,
the only way he could get a tiny bit of relief.
wow, that's great. Yeah, you need to. Has he left you a review?
I don't know if he's left me a review, but I was like, he's referred in people. So he's referred in people because he's like, hey, come in to see this guy. So I'll take referrals over a Google review.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, what advice would you have? Two questions as we wrap this up. What advice would you have for somebody who is thinking about joining a professional networking referral club or group and is and so new in business that it's hard for them to really see the power right away? What would you tell that person?
I would say that if you are looking for something that is an easy, a quick fix, then the networking referral groups are not really good for you because you are only as good as your reputation within the group. If you don't attend, if you're not there, if you're not present, if people don't know who you are or what you do, then that is the networking referral groups. They require time and effort. I know in the beginning of BNI, I got a couple referrals in the kind of the very beginning, but it took a while for people to kind of start thinking about me. Said, come and see me. Now it's like, oh, I know that Jacob can help out with this, so I'll go in and see him, or I'll send in this person I know. Um, and so it really takes time and effort in order for kind of the engine to get going. But once you've built it up, um, that time and patience and investment of your time is pays off in dividends.
Very well said. Very well said. Yeah. You got to be patient, and you got to believe in yourself enough to see your future self with this room full of people that already trust you. Even though that's
Yes,
not the reality on week 1, but you got to believe in your own abilities enough to see that.
you are selling yourself, and you need to be the expert in your own field.
Right. Okay, last question, Jacob. As we wrap up, and then after I ask you this question, you can tell us anything else about how we might find you. If you're local to Oklahoma City and you need a chiropractor, I would strongly recommend Rowe Chiropractic, and you're going to have a great experience as far as, care and concern from the minute you walk in until the moment you leave. So if you could tap your early networking self on the shoulder, a quick little tap, 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 hey, go back to that self, what insight would you tell Jacob that you have now that you didn't have?
Speak with more confidence. Meet as many people as possible. You think you're doing enough, but you're not. So
Mm.
it's like if you have free time, no, you don't.
Right.
So keep it up, work hard, and it'll pay off in the end.
I like that. I like it. All right. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so my office is located in Norman, Oklahoma. I have a website, www.jrowchiro.com. I also have an Instagram page called jrowchiro, where I share a lot of kind of tips and tricks, and also a couple things that you may not think chiropractic can help with, but it can. So you can find me on Instagram. So thank y'all very much for having me today, Faith Ann.
Oh, hey, I'm honored. I'm honored. And I will say, Jacob has put up with me a couple of scheduling challenges, and he's just been so gracious about accommodating me. And I will link all of his stuff in the show notes. And so I would encourage you to share this episode with that new business owner who's kind of on the fence about joining a group. Send this to them and say, hey, here's a real business owner who really heals with his hands, and he is all for getting a group of people around him that can help him grow his business through referrals. Thanks again, Jacob.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to the Networkers Tour Guide podcast with Faithann Basore. Share this episode with a friend, and be sure to come back next week for more networking tips and tricks from the Networkers Tour Guide.